everybody, we're going to get started. Welcome to farmstagram and the session on social media. We're excited to be here today to talk to you about various ways to use social media to spread the word about your farm or your business. I'm Alexandra Tursi. I'm the social media strategist at the UVM Medical Center. What we're going to do today is the three of us are going to talk. We're going to hold questions until the end just to make sure everyone has a chance to get through their presentation. So please jot down your questions as they come up and we'll address all of them. But I want to start off by asking how many people are using social media in some capacity to spread the word about their business? Okay, cool. So we have some familiarity. Anybody using Instagram specifically? Okay, handful. Facebook? All right. Pinterest? Blog? Tumblr? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have some good stuff here. Awesome. Good to see. So at the Medical Center, we fully embrace social media as a way to reach out to the community. We have a blog. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google+. So we fully embrace this because we know that more and more people of various age demographics are using these tools to find out information about friends, family, but also the communities where they live and the food that they eat and health issues as well. So what I want to talk about today, I'm going to give kind of a broad overview of some trends in social media that we're seeing, and then my fellow panelists are really going to kind of dig into the nitty-gritty of how they're actually doing this. So what I want to talk about today, and what this is specifically focused on, is visual content. So we're going to go through Facebook video. Has anyone used that at all yet? Okay, a couple people. Instagram and Pinterest. So what I found this fact as I was putting together this presentation is that our brains process visuals 660,000 times faster than text. And this is a reason, just one of the many reasons I think visual social media is trending and becoming a bigger and bigger thing that we're seeing in the digital landscape. The first thing here is Facebook video. So within the past year, Facebook really decided to take on YouTube and allow people to natively host video from within the platform. So instead of including a link to either a Vimeo video or a YouTube video, you can now upload video directly to Facebook where people can interact, view it, and share it with their friends and family and their network. So what I thought was interesting about this was that how pervasive Facebook video has become in the short amount of time it's been around. There's been a 94% increase in videos posted per person to Facebook, which I think is an incredible stat. That's just individual people. That's not even taking into account Facebook brand pages. There's been a 50% of daily users watch at least one video every day. So people are consuming this content very regularly. Users see 4 times more video in their newsfeed than 1 year ago. And there have been 1 billion video views daily since June 2014. So pretty compelling stats as to consumption around Facebook video and how pervasive it's become as part of the Facebook experience, which I think has been a really interesting reason to test it out. That's something that we've actually done at the Medical Center, and I'll show that in a second. But I thought this was interesting too. In November of 2014, the number of videos uploaded directly to Facebook overtook YouTube videos on the network for the first time. So Facebook is really rivaling YouTube when it comes to video. So just something to think about is if you are developing video for your organization or business, you might want to test out Facebook video as a different means of reaching your audience. Another key reason to use it is the Facebook algorithm. So as some of you might know, Facebook takes into account a multiplicity of different factors when it decides what you actually see in your newsfeed. So it takes into account the kind of content it is, whether it's a photo or a video or a link, how connected you are to the person who posted it, and various other factors, and it determines by that metric what you see in your newsfeed. And what they have done is they've placed video as one of the top ranking features in the algorithm. So video in and of itself will place higher than any kind of other content you might post. It used to, a couple of years ago, photos were the highest thing in the algorithm as a content type. And a lot of people started posting photos, and that's still a great thing to do. But with video trending, that's something to test out alternatively. And I'll say that after video, links are the second type of content that's ranked highest. So if you are covered in the news or on the TV segment, that might be something to share as well. So that's another big reason to try it out. We've tested this ourselves just to see how it would work. So these are just 2 examples of 2 videos we did at the Medical Center. One was about the HPV vaccine, and you can see here we've had about 20,000 people view this video already, which for us is great. And we're trying to reach all of Vermont and northern New York, so that's obviously a fraction of that audience. But for our first video, we were really happy with that. And then we also posted this other video recently this month, and it's already accrued about 2,000 views. So again, that's really some good preliminary metrics for us, and we're going to keep pursuing video as we move onward in the year. These are more traditional style videos. What we're going to try to do, I don't know, has anyone seen those tasty videos, the food ones? So we're going to try to do some healthy versions of the tasty videos. So we're trying to watch what the trending popular content is when it comes to video to make sure that we kind of align with Facebook user expectations. These videos are about 1 to 3 minutes, more traditional interview formats, still very relevant to the people who are seeing them, but we want to play around with some of the other trends that are happening on Facebook. So how can you use Facebook video? So just some tips to keep in mind. From the research I've done, keeping it short and sweet but a quality video is really key. So ensuring that the two things that really ensure proper quality in a video are lighting and sound. If the lighting's off, it's dark, you can't see the person or what they're talking about, instantly someone's going to say, I don't really know. Or if the sound is off, you know, they come in and out a little bit. I don't know, maybe that will happen today on our video, but if that's going in and out, then that also can affect the video quality. So you just want to make sure those two things are happening. And then keeping it short, so about 1 to 3 minutes max. Most people won't really watch a video beyond that point unless they're really invested in the subject matter. And for them to be invested in the subject matter, it probably is some kind of niche content that really appeals to them. An example of that is we have a video on atrial fibrillation, which is a heart condition. That's about 20 minutes long. It's a really long video. But the people who find it, they will watch the entire thing because oftentimes it's people who have that condition. So if you want to do something a little bit longer that you think would really appeal to a certain set of your audience, certainly feel free to go longer. Don't be bound by it. But just remember to tell a good, compelling story that will keep people with you. If not, testing out the 1 to 3 minutes I think is really perfect, especially as somebody's kind of cruising through their news feed. It's kind of an easy way for them to quickly interact with your brand. The next thing is planning for autoplay. So how many people have gone through their newsfeed and then the video, just starts playing and they're like, what's happening here? Has that happened? Okay. So you want to plan for this. Your video will automatically play in Facebook. So you want to grab the audience's attention in the first 10 seconds. You don't really have time to have opening credits and this lovely branded logo sequence. You really want to get into the content as soon as possible because after 10 seconds, somebody just might blow right by it and not even watch your video. So be thinking about that, how you can really grab somebody's attention very quickly. And also in terms of the autoplay, the videos will play without sound. You have to enable sound on a Facebook video. So what you'll want to do is figure out as you are planning your video, how can you tell a story that doesn't necessarily need sound? So be thinking about that. Or if it really does, consider doing some graphics that might help tell the story if somebody's watching it without sound. Or consider doing some captioning. Those are all things you might want to be thinking about. Or as I said, make it work without sound. And also be thinking about when you post the video, kind of the copy that you're going to use to introduce it. That could be another way to kind of get around the audio issue if somebody doesn't click the audio button. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. I know I'm talking about a lot of technical things. And really at the end of the day, tell a good story. So think about, is this story timely to your audience? Is it relevant? Is it funny? Is it entertaining? Is it something controversial? Is it newsy? It doesn't have to be all of those things, but it should probably be at least timely and relevant, and maybe one of those other things. Is it a cute thing of some farm animals doing something funny? Those trend really high on Facebook. Or is it something really insightful about the farm experience? Or is it something newsy about food? So just kind of put your editor's hat on or your news journalist hat on and think, what would really be an interesting, attention-grabbing story? And it can be simple. It doesn't have to be a multifaceted story. It can be very simple and beautiful or funny and entertaining. I have found, and I know that it's hard to get money for advertising on social media or advertising in general. But if you are able to, you post a video and you see it's doing really well with your audience, you might want to consider spending a tiny bit of money on boosting it. which can very easily be done within Facebook. You just have to set up a business account, attach some kind of credit card to it, and then for very little money, like $25 or $50, you can actually reach a much larger audience. Facebook will allow you to do that, so that if you're finding that either the video isn't getting enough views, or if you want it to, it's trending really high in terms of engagement and you want it to do even better, I found that putting money behind something can be very effective. And we've done that a lot at the medical center. Now granted, we're a huge organization, so I want to be realistic. But we found for very little money, we can actually reach thousands of more people on Facebook. So just something to think about and something to test out, even if you start with $5, $10, $15, just to see, does that help you reach more people? And analyzing insights. Facebook will allow you through Facebook Insights to look at your video insights to understand views, to understand if you have a series of videos, which ones are doing the best. So you can see what works and what doesn't work. And then finally, inspiration. Facebook has something called Can't Miss Videos that I think is great to look at. Sometimes it's hard to kind of just think within your own brand and your own company. It's kind of good to kind of go outside the box. Something I often do is I don't look at other healthcare organizations and what they're doing on social media. I look at other brands. I see, oh, what's Starbucks doing, or what's like this company doing? I want to see what kind of cutting edge stuff is out there that I could potentially take as inspiration and use in my own video or my own social media content. So don't be afraid to get inspiration from elsewhere, such as in this resource. All right, so moving on to Instagram, and I know you two are going to talk much more about Instagram, so I'll be general here, but Instagram is trending really high. It's already overtaken Twitter in terms of users. It has 400 million users currently. Twitter has about 316 million. So if you're thinking Twitter or Instagram, I definitely recommend Instagram, especially for food, farm, and nature kind of focused business. 70 million photos and videos are shared daily on Instagram, which I think is amazing. You can advertise there now if you so choose through Facebook ads. So if you have Facebook and Instagram, you have an opportunity there for some advertising. And this I thought was really interesting. It's really hard sometimes, and sometimes people struggle with getting engagement on social media. You know, no one's liking my post, or no one's commenting or sharing. Instagram is a really great tool for engagement because it has the highest per follower engagement. Its rate of engagement is about 58 times higher than Facebook and 120 times higher than Twitter. So if that's a concern of yours, again, you might want to test out Instagram instead as a channel. And something not to be forgotten is Instagram offers video as well. It's shorter, it's about 15 seconds, but you can tell a lot in 15 seconds. So they've seen that video watch times have gone up 40%. And they've seen that people are using these more and more in a creative way to engage their audience. So Instagram video is another cool tool to try out. And I have here a link. They have something called Spotlight Compilations that will show you trending videos if, again, you're looking for inspiration and a way to get started. So this is how we use Instagram. So as I mentioned, we're a large organization. So for us, it's a really great way to put a face on our brand. There's 7,000 plus people that work at the medical center, and we're oftentimes seen as this big monolithic organization. So we use it to spotlight our employees, our patients, our community members. We have Faces Friday, where every Friday we post a nice photo of an employee with a quote and a story. We include patient stories. You can see right down here is a little girl from our children's hospital meeting up with some people dressed up as Star Wars characters. That was really popular. We had a superhero day, so we took photos of our employees doing that. Another big thing, it's not in these photos over here, is food. So we have, fortunately I work in an organization that really believes in sustainable nutrition. And we have a really great person, Diane Emery, who's our Director of Nutrition Services. So she's ensured that we have a lot of great local foods, great healthy recipes. So part of my job, it's really tough, is to go around to all of our dining locations, eat the food, or take photos and then eat the food. So I will post an image of some food, and then I'll put some facts about it, whether it's a nutrition stat or a recipe. And that content does really well because people on Instagram, one of the big topics and one of the trending things there is food. And the content consistently does really well. And it's a nice way for us to put a healthy spin on food and also showcase our local partnerships. So how you can use Instagram. Taking quality photos is really the key step here. And again, my two fellow panelists will talk more about that. But just some like very basic things to keep in mind. Again, as I said with video, focus on really good lighting, stabilizing your camera so the image isn't blurry, and really thinking about the composition of the shot. Instagram will allow you to actually have a grid, a 9-panel grid, so you can see how things align within the photo to make sure it's a well-balanced photo. So instead of thinking of putting something directly in the center, you might think of aligning it with one of the thirds on the side to give it a little bit of more visual interest. Making space for candids too. So for every, kind of more thoughtful, composed photo, if there's something fun happening out and about where you are, there's nothing wrong with taking a really quick candid of that and showcasing it, because Instagram also really rewards fun kind of behind the scenes action. Optimizing your page. So this is one really important thing. You could have really gorgeous, beautiful photos, but you really want to help people find you. So just make sure that you fill out your name, your profile, your bio, put in a link to your website, really include as much information as possible in your profile so that people can then find you based on who and what you are. And then hashtags. Does everybody here know what a hashtag is? So for those of you who don't, a hashtag is when you see the pound sign followed by a word. What that does is it creates a hyperlink. So whenever you click on that hashtag, it'll link you to all of the content that also uses that hashtag. So it's a really great way to find other content and also to be found in conversations. So this is, I think, a really great tip in terms of expanding your audience if you want to be found, using hashtags like BTV, VT, food, farm, whatever happens to be. You can do research within Twitter or within Instagram to see what are the most popular hashtags and how many people use that hashtag if you use Instagram search. So testing that out might be a great idea for you to be found and discovered by other people who are interested in what you're doing. And then, of course, connecting. So in any social network, you just don't want to be putting out content about yourself. It's not only about you, it's about the community. So be sure to engage with people, like other content, comment, maybe find people who are influential in your field and connect with them on Instagram, get to know them, then maybe it will lead to a partnership where you can do something with them. I found that social media is an awesome networking tool. So if you're looking to interact with the media, with food influencers, with other bloggers, Instagram in particular, I think, is a great way to do that. Finding influencers, I already mentioned that. And then, of course, measuring. So there's a tool called Iconosquare that'll allow you to measure your progress on Instagram. So you can see which photos are doing the best, which are getting the most engagement, most comments, etc. So again, you can see what is this content that's really performing well and what should I do more of and do less of. And it's just some inspiration to get you thinking more creatively. This is somebody who does pasta art on Instagram, but you can see it's kind of a really fun way this person has decided to lay out this in terms of composition. It's done the same thing in some of these images. Here are just some other ones, and this is a link to an article that you'll be able to access, but people thinking in fun ways about food versus the more traditional kind of product shot. Not everything here is healthy, so I apologize. But I'll focus on the healthy ones. So you can see here this very nice image of a heart with the vegetables. This woman using this as her hair. This little composition over here. I love this kind of ombre theme with this. So just challenge you to think with what you produce or what you create, how can you kind of have fun with it in an eye-catching way? Because Instagram really rewards artistic content with a little bit of spin to it. And then finally, I'll breeze through Pinterest quickly because I only have 1 minute left. So Pinterest, for those of you who aren't as familiar with it, is really a visual scrapbooking tool and a bookmarking tool whereby people can create their own boards, and then throughout their entire time using Pinterest, they can collect information and ideas, recipes from across the web and save it to a pin board so they always have it to come back to. It's highly used among women, 25 to 54. About 85% of Pinterest users are women. So if that's an audience you really want to reach, Pinterest could be a really good fit for you. It has less users than Instagram and Facebook, so just something to bear in mind. And what I think is interesting is 80% of the content that Pinterest users pin is other people's content. So if you are originating interesting content around food, farm, etc., you have a high probability of being pinned by Pinterest users because they're looking for that content versus sharing original content. So this is just kind of what it looks like. So in the past, people would create inspiration boards like on paper, cut things out of magazines. But now they're kind of pinning all their inspiration in a digital way. This is an example of our Pinterest profile. So you can see here, these are the boards. So we have various different ones for healthy lunches, healthy side dishes, healthy dinners. And what we have on each of these boards are visual images that then link to an article or a recipe on our website or our blog that includes more information about this. So it's a really great brand building tool if you're looking to drive people to your website and you have original content hosted on your website or on a blog. A lot of people I know have a recipe blog where they'll post a nice image of the food and then they'll pin the recipe here so that Pinterest users can then find it and share it. So we really use our Pinterest channel to share healthy food information, some fitness information, and some parenting information because we know that's what our audience is seeking there. So how can you use it? Recommendation here is to join as a business. You can join as an individual or a business, but joining as a business will allow you to access analytics and advertising if that's of interest to you. You'll want to confirm your website and make sure that you add a pin it button to your website so anyone coming to your website can then pin content from it and have that on Pinterest. As I said with Instagram, you'll want to complete your profile so you'll have a higher probability of being found by people who are searching on Pinterest. Then start using it, of course. So create some boards that you think are relevant to your brand. And really be thinking about what I call the art of the pin, which is making sure that, and I think this is true of any social media content, creating content that's helpful, beautiful, and actionable. So how does it help the user? Second, is it attractive enough to be found? We're talking about visual content here. So again, it needs to be eye-catching, interesting, intriguing. And then also, once they click on it, what do they then do after that? Do they click through to your website? Do they click through to your blog? Do they leave a comment? Do you want to be thinking about the customer journey beyond Pinterest so that you can continue to engage with that person? And as I said with Instagram, good composition is also key here because, again, this is a visual medium. So making sure that you're creating something as beautiful is important. And I will leave it at that.